Well, guess what? It's finally here. John Tyler against Robert E. Lee coming up on Friday night at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. Welcome back to Coach's Corner. Of course, we do this show all season long, but it's always fun when the two Rose City rivals get together. Now, John Tyler comes into this game 2-0 after defeating Longview 41-25 this past Friday night at Lobo Stadium, and JT head coach Rickland Holmes is with us. 2-0 feels pretty good right now, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It feels way better than going 0-2 at
Absolutely.
this time. Kids are responding well to the way that we got things going, the routine that we got in place, and they're going out there and they're competing hard.
You played, we'll talk more about Lee, but you played in this game at John Tyler. You've been an assistant coach in this game, and now you're the head coach. I think this is your third
gonna be my
third year as the head coach of the John Tyler Lions. What's it like? What makes this game fun?
It's exciting, knowing that you're going against your crosstown rivals, and it's something that's been going along ever since the two schools have been open. Understanding that the importance of this game isn't like it was when I was playing, because we was district opponents then, so it had to do with playoff appearances and stuff like that. But it's still the same. It's still fun, and it's still exciting, and it's still very, very competitive.
Does the fact that it's not a district game, that it's a non-district game, does it allow the guys to relax and just kind of, or even as a coach coaching in this game, to kind of let it all hang out on Friday night, and maybe like when the old days when it was the last game of the year and so much was riding on it, maybe you're a little bit more uptight? Does it make that kind of a difference?
No, because the way that we are mentally at John Tyler, we going out there to beat John Tyler High School. We're not going out there to beat Robert E. Lee. We're going to go play Robert E. Lee, but we're going to go beat John Tyler.
And when you say that means, what do you mean by that?
The mentality that we have is we're going out there to beat the best team in the state of Texas, and we think that we are the best team in the state of Texas. That way, you don't go up and down, you stay even, and your competitive level doesn't go with the team that you're playing against. It goes with the mentality that you have as a team, which is basically John Tyler High School.
You're the number one ranked team in the state this week in Class 5A. What does that feel like?
Rankings are important to in a lot of different ways.
I guess you are. Yeah. I haven't seen the rankings, but aren't you?
I believe that we are number one. I'm not sure right now. I know that we were number two, which that just lets you know that, the type of football that we are playing here at John Tyler is not going unnoticed across the state of Texas. It lets us know that as long as we continue to do the things that we've been doing, that ranking is going to basically tell the tale of the team that we are. And right now, our mentality has always been that we've been the number one team.
Does the ranking help or hurt you? Does it matter one way or the other?
I don't think it matters either way. I think it just increases the target on our back. We've always had a target on our back, whether we was number 25 or we was number 5. Mm-hmm. It's all the same mentality, because every team that we play is going to bring us their best game.
All right, Longview this past week, 41-25. Now, Longview is a little down right now. They're missing some key players. But you were on the road, and you did that on the road, and you more or less dominated that football game. How did you play?
I think we played fairly well. We still got a couple of small mistakes that we got to take care of, and one of the deals is ball security. We cannot keep putting the ball on the ground and fumbling. Offensively, we're still productive. On the defensive side of the ball, we're still maintaining the discipline that we need to make sure that we stop our opponents on the ground and in the air.
You've had in 2 games, you guys have had 4 defensive touchdowns so far this year. How you doing that?
Has to do with Coach Anderson stressing to the team about takeaway and turnovers. Yeah. I heard him say it all the time. There's nothing wrong with the defense scoring. The offense doesn't have to score all the points. But the bad thing to that is once you're scoring like that means your defense is on the field a whole bunch of times. Yeah. And that has to do with our conditioning. It has to do with how we train ourselves to play in a football game.
Is the defense the biggest story so far this young season for JT?
I think right now it is, because we've faced 2 running teams, and like I said earlier, that's been our Achilles heel for the past several years, not being able to stop the run. So with the performance that we've had against 2 quality teams that are running teams, I think right now we're showing ourselves that we're going to be able to do some of the things that we've been practicing to do. We just got to continue.
Bryson Gibson, 3 touchdowns. Is he your leading scorer right now?
He might be the leading scorer.
He's a safety, and he's had 3 touchdowns.
He does. That just lets you know that when you're doing things right and you're where you're supposed to be, you're going to be around the ball, And when you're around the ball, you can make things happen.
This young man is only a junior, right?
He's a junior.
And we all know the defensive back tradition at John Tyler, but there's a knack for being around the football, right? You can be a good defensive player and maybe not score touchdowns, but there's also that kid who just has whatever it is.
Just have a knack for
have
the
a
ball.
knack for being knack for the ball, right?
And you know, he reminds me a lot of two guys we had come through. One is his TCU, Chris Hackett, and the other one named Tristan Wade that's at UTSA. You know, Tristan Wade was the go-getting guy, you know, the hard hitter. He was always around the ball, around the line of scrimmage. But then you had Chris Hackett that always found the ball in the air. Bryson Gibson is one of those kids that's kind of a combination of those two.
Yeah.
He plays down on the line of scrimmage like a linebacker, but he's able to roam the field and make plays on the ball.
Since we last did this show, the NFL season has started, and there's several Lions in the league right now. But one of those guys, why not bring him up? Jeremy Lane plays for the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. For folks who may or may not remember B.B. Lane when he was here, who was he and what kind of player was he for you?
B.B. was a tall corner, wasn't very physical when he was at high school, but he was always around the ball.
Didn't he?
Yeah, he got hurt, and he was always around the ball, had great man-to-man coverage skill.
Yeah.
But as he progressively got better at playing the corner position when he went to Northwestern State, he learned that he needed to be more physical at the corner position, you know, and I think that's what excelled him to get the opportunity to play at the NFL level, because everybody knew he was 6'1", he could run real fast, and he was a nice-sized guy, but his physicality is what projected him to be the type of person that he is now in the NFL, which is making great plays on the ball in the air, and he's making great tackles, and he's on every special team.
But I guess the moral of the story is just keep improving.
You
never know where it'll lead you, right?
Never know where it's going to lead you. You don't know. However you start out does not dictate on how you're going to finish.
Right.
You know, I always tell my guys all the time, we got to start fast and we got to finish strong. But you may start fast doing things the wrong way. But as you progressively get better, you fix those things that you started out doing wrong. So as you get towards the end, you end strong and you're doing things the right way.
All right, let's roll the tape. Let's go ahead and get into the game. JT and Longview on Friday night at Lobo Stadium had a heck of a crowd over there. And the Lions go to 2-0 in the season, 41-25. And again, anytime you're playing over there, first of all, look at the crowd. Yeah. That's the visiting side.
That's the visitor side.
And you're on defense here, right, or offense?
This is offense. This is a little pass to Bendy from Gio McAllister, going across the middle of the field. Great yardage on that. Little pitch play right here to Jeremy Wilson. This is defense side right here. Up front, we played very, very good up front, making sure that we kept everything on the line of scrimmage and not on the other side.
Again, there's Longview. They're lined up tight, running the ball.
That's a good breakup play by Damian Miller, another sophomore that's getting some playing time this year.
Damian starts on defense and backs up on offense.
Backs up on offense right now, yes.
All right, here you are back. There they are on running the ball again. Lobos are 0-2. That surprises me, doesn't it, you?
Yes.
But then,
with the style of play that they do have, it's a great play by a defensive front right here. I think that was DeAndre Benson that made that play. Gio with the ball in his hand, showing that he has a little couple of moves and some speed because he has slimmed down a little bit from last year.
Yeah, I was looking at his weight. He's down, 20 pounds from last year?
He's about 15, 20 pounds down. And that helped him out a lot.
Wide open guy here.
Wide open Nick Kane going down the sideline.
Nick's a two-way starter.
He is.
You know, in Longview, when they pound like that, I mean, Most teams don't do this anymore. How tough is it to prepare for an offense?
It's very tough to prepare for, but especially when you're used to going against spread teams that, sling it out like we do. Now all of a sudden you got to condense the box and put more people in it and play gap sound defense.
Good news is the games are fairly quick, aren't they?
They do. They go by way faster
than
it would be if you was throwing the ball. But it also teaches us to be very disciplined, because if you're not disciplined going against an offense like this, they will be able to pop some big plays on you because of the fundamental mistakes that you make.
Now here they're out of the shotgun. Their quarterback, Desmond Chumley, pretty good junior football player. Senior, he's off to a slow start a little bit, I guess. This Jeremy?
Little draw play right here to Bryson Gibson. It's actually our safety getting in the backfield. Getting a couple of carries in. Chugging away.
Boy, you demand that your guys be in good shape if they're going to play on both sides of the ball.
You got to be. We practice to play hard. And if you don't be able to do that, then we won't be able to have the success that we've been having thus far. And it also cuts down on injuries, with your body being in a position to play a full game and not be tired. Long pass right there to Bryson Smith, the backup quarterback, also playing receiver.
Okay. Bryson's a talented young man. He'll be the starting quarterback next year, right?
And most likely he will be.
Okay.
Most likely he will be. But we got to wait till 2014 season is over with first.
All right. Here you are at the goal line.
Yeah, we're going to go and pound this in. Got our lead back, which is our D tackle, Leonard Pierre.
All right.
Back on defense. I love the way that our defensive front, Braylon and Pierre and just Xavier and DeAndre Ben, I love how they're playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage.
Now, does Benson play linebacker or D-line for you?
He plays defensive end.
Okay.
And he also plays the outside backer. But with the way we play our defensive end, it's almost the same type of concept. Actually, he plays our weak side defensive end, which is call our razor.
2nd down and 8 play coming up here. They pitch it to the edge.
It's like a scat play. I always call this like a scat play, because what you do is you swing it out to the edge and let them guys use their speed. We stretched the play out right there, but we didn't feel like we were supposed to on the backside with the backers. That's one thing that we always tell them we got to stress, is make sure we take away the cutback lanes, and we also get guys down at first contact. Like on that last drive, them last 2 plays right there, and we contact, but they carry us for another 2 and 3 yards.
And you don't want that to happen.
No, that comes from leverage tackling.
Lobo's got a little drive working here, so we'll see how the guys respond to this.
Well, drives like this is what's really showing us that we're going to be able to do what we need to do, because we don't let up.
Yeah.
They pound us a little bit, and what we've learned by practicing in this way is to settle down, get back to doing what we need to do, buckle up your chin straps, and make sure we do some things to try to help keep them out the end zone, and then hopefully we can cause some fumbles like we did right here and get the offense the ball back.
So they fumbled on that play.
They fumbled on that play. So, like I said, you just never know. As long as you just keep turning and keep turning and keep turning and doing things that you coach to do. Good things are going to happen when you're doing things the right way. The pass to Dundon. Told him right here he should have worked upfield quicker instead of running towards the middle of the field where everybody's at.
Now Dundon is Duntavian Gross, number 19, junior.
That's good swarm to the ball right there on the swing play.
Now you about to do a defensive score. When's that coming up? Here, kid gets loose up the near sideline, bump him out of bounds.
Ike showing how physical he is at the end of that play. Great interception right here by Damian Miller, the sophomore, making the diving play, getting the offense the ball back. Like I say, fella, just because things don't go the way that you think they're supposed to go, keep doing what you're supposed to do, and things are going to happen.
Who's this?
That was Nick King.
Nick King.
Just keep doing what you're doing, fellas.
All right, inside the 5. There you go. Keep churning and burning and touchdown. Right?
That's right. Put it in the end zone.
That was Wilson?
That was Wilson. Great backside chase. Tell our guys all the time, don't work upfield. Play on the line of scrimmage, plays away, come flat, do what you need to do.
As long as he's doing what they do.
That's right. And going against a team like this, you got to understand that they're going to have some kind of success. I mean, it's just not one of them things where you're going to stop them all the time.
Now, here's Ike Warren scoop and score.
Scoop and score.
Who jarred the ball loose on that play?
I don't quite remember who did that. I want to say it was one of the defensive linemen, like Pierre or somebody, but that's good defensive play by Ike.
Good closing speed. So I got one of the 2 defensive touchdowns. There will be another one before the night was over.
Good tackle right there by Tony Johnson.
Who's a linebacker. Okay. Back on offense. It drives stalls, right?
Keep pursuing, keep pursuing. I love how we retraced with Jasavier Reese. I mean, he missed the first contact with him, and he got away from him, but he didn't give up. Came back, retraced his steps, and ended up making a great play on the ball. That right there is Rodney Bendy, which is our wide receiver, and Pierre Leonard on that sack. And Rodney is another 2-way player, playing defensive end and also outside receiver.
And Rodney's headed to where?
Right now he's committed to North Texas.
North Texas, okay. 6'5", he's a heck of a target.
Yes, he is. Great jumping ability, long arms.
And you use him at defense, on defensive end. Not as a starter, but as a guy who can
He comes in there,
break, right?
Gives us a little bit more of a edge presence sometimes with his long arms and getting up on tackles pretty quick. Good little run right there by Jeremy Wilson. He struggled early part of the game, holding on to the ball. But at the latter part of the game, he made sure he had great ball security and he was making some great runs.
Lobo's back on offense here. You kind
No,
of
we're
got
still on offense.
You're still on offense here? Okay. Now there we go. All right.
Good little old run right there by Gio.
Is that Gio? Okay.
Another run right here by Gio. Cameron tried to go before he did.
All right. That's Bendy there, isn't it? Was that Bendy's
This is
touchdown?
the Bendy or Ike that was right there. I mean, not Ike, Kane.
Okay.
Anytime a team gets in the red zone against you, and you keep them out the end zone from getting 6 points, even if they get 3, that's still a great defensive stand.
Nice break up there, I think, by one of your safeties, probably.
Actually, it was Ike coming across,
Ike?
And they actually called pass interference on them. That's why they got moved up to where they moved up to now. Which that's one of those questionable calls that, refs do make. It is what it is. This is a great defensive stand by us. Even with the penalty, we kept them out the end zone, and now we give our offense the ball back. Not giving it back to them, probably not in the best position possible, but at least we're giving it back to them without a point being put on the board.
Lobo's back on offense here. And now this is
back
you.
On offense, yeah. Right here is our backup quarterback, Bryson Smith, in the game. Getting him a couple of snaps in, let him see what it's like to be back there.
Now he's a sophomore right now?
He is a sophomore.
Okay.
And Bryson is what we call an athlete. He plays corner, back up behind Nick Kane. He's also wide receiver, and he's a backup quarterback. So he has multiple positions that he can play at. Big play right here that we pick up and get a fumble on. Yeah, they broke it, but with their ball security and us being able to make something happen, we was able to get the ball back to the offense in midfield.
All right, that gives you an idea what went on. 41-25, again, just looking at the stat sheet. Yeah, pretty balanced, 160 yards rushing, 216 through the air. But again, the turnovers that you forced in these first 2 ball games, that can cover up a lot of mistakes. When you're picking up fumbles and intercepting passes, forcing turnovers, that you can get a lot done like that.
You can get a lot done like that, and it alleviates a lot of the pressure from your offense, letting them know that, hey, even though, we are making some minute mistakes on offense, like, not holding on to the ball, jumping outside, we got a defense that's stout enough to go out there on the field and make sure that they don't capitalize on our mistakes.
What's your favorite memory as a player of the Robert E. Lee John Tyler game?
Senior year, out there at Rose Stadium on a Saturday. I think it was a 2 p.m. game.
Yeah.
First play of the game, scat left. I take it for 55 yards.
Okay. First play of the game.
First play of the game.
All right. Touchdown, I
Touchdown.
said. Touchdown.
Yes, sir.
You guys going to win the game?
And we went on to win that game. Matter of fact, I think we won that game 55 or something.
Okay, all right. So that's your favorite memory as a player?
Favorite memory as a player.
What did it mean? You won your first game as the head coach?
As the head coach.
As the head coach. Which was better, win it as a player or win it as a head coach?
I think winning it as a head coach because, it dictated off of what the team done.
Right, yeah.
Not just what I done, but, what the team is doing. And just to see them my first year play the way that they played against a great, talented, Robert E. Lee team, just like this year's team, letting them know that, hey, we can go out there and we can compete against quality opponents.
Lee has lost their first 2 games, but they played 2 pretty good opponents in Fossil Ridge and Lufkin. So as you scouted them, obviously, you know many of the players because they're all from the town, and the kids all know each other, and you know Coach Piskey. What impresses you about Robert E. Lee?
Their resiliency to keep doing what they're doing. It doesn't look like they're deviating from what they know that they can do well. They just have to capitalize more on what they are doing. And I think that, with each week, they are going to get better and better, and they're going to start taking care of more of the mistakes that they had the first game, the second game, and now they enter their third game. They understand more of what they need to do versus what they have been doing.
Now you've got this game, and then you'll have a week off, right?
Yes, we have
before you. So, boy, just for a lot of reasons. I mean, to win this game and then get that rest before district play starts that make this a big ball game too.
Makes it a huge ball game. Makes it a huge ball game because you want to go into your district play undefeated. You don't want to go in there with any negative baggage. And when I say negative baggage, we talking about losses because there are going to be mistakes that you're going to have the first preseason games, because that's what preseason is for. Is to see what your team is good at, know what they're good at, get better at what they're good at, and make sure you erase the mistakes that keep you from doing what you need to do to win a district championship.
Now, your quarterback and the Lee quarterback are both very talented, but two kind of different players. Zach Hall's a smaller kid than Gio McAllister, but he's terribly fast. I mean, we know that. Just talk to me about Zach Hall and what he's had a year. This is like Gio. This is his second year as a starting quarterback at Robert E. Lee.
I see that he's grown. He's matured into a quarterback. I think his first year he was more of a guy that was just a playmaker back there. But I think this year he's understanding more of what it takes to be a quarterback, just like Gio did last year going into this year, understanding that he must stay in the pocket. He's making better reads. He's making better throws. He's still very dangerous with the ball in his hands. Once he gets flushed out the pocket, which that's something that we don't want to happen against us. But he's a very talented kid. And seems like he's starting to take a little bit more leadership role in the team versus than he was last year.
When you played at John Tyler, I'm sure you had lots of good friends playing on the other side over there too.
I did. Joffrey Reynolds, Anthony Dingle, all those guys, I grew up playing with, whether it was during middle school or whether it was Pop Warner League. Matter of fact, Joffrey played with us the first 2 years at John Tyler.
Did you talk during the week? I mean, these kids know each other. What do you tell them about just talking to each other during the week?
Just make sure you keep it friendly. We talk plenty of noise with each other before the game and during the game, but we always let each other know that we do respect each other. We do understand that we both want to play this game the way it's supposed to be played, but at the same time, I still want to beat you.
Yeah, still. You want to win this game. What would it mean? What does it mean to win this football game? I mean, is the game's importance lessened at all over the years because it's not a district game anymore?
No, it's still the same. We want to win this game because we want to end our preseason 3-0. That's one of our first goals that we put forth with ourselves. And once we take care of that, then we can move forward. But right now, we got to make sure we have a great week of practice leading up into this game on Friday.
So far, so good on injuries too, right?
So far, so good. Keep knocking on wood. I put that with the way that we train during the off season. Yeah. We put a lot of stress on our body in the off season with weights, with running, with 7-on-7, summer conditioning, so that our bodies will be able to react to the pressure that we're going to have to put on it to win the football games we need to do to accomplish the season that we need to have.
Now, finally, just in the last 30 or 40 seconds, you need to remind folks, you are the designated visiting team, right, this year?
We are.
So you'll be on the other side this year.
We'll be on the other side this year. Last year, we were the home team. This year, we'll be the visiting team, like my first year, and we will come out in all white.
That's kind of weird, though, isn't it, playing at Rose Stadium, being on the other side of the field? Isn't that odd?
It is. It's very odd, but it's something that I've gotten used to as a player and something I've got used to as a coach now.
All right, good luck, okay?
Appreciate it.
Again, it's the Rose City Classic. Whatever you want to call it, it's Robert E. Lee and John Tyler. John Tyler against Robert E. Lee, depending on your point of view, on Friday night. 7:30 kickoff at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. Should be a lot of fun. Both teams need and deserve your support. Look forward to seeing you at the stadium on Friday night. For Coach Holmes and the Lions, I'm Bill Coates. Thanks for joining us.